Welcome everyone back to the Age of Sail tournament and From the Depths. I am your host Chromoid, and today in episode 7 we're going to be watching the Mammoth and Mastodon by Crozeus going up against the Thing Spawn Stick by Team Marks 11. Let's review these before we get into the fighting. The Mammoth and Mastodon are two identical ships, I believe. Yeah, they're identical except for the color scheme. They're both well, I guess they're trimarans, but they're really just bi-hull. They got these two pontoon type things on the side, a bunch of rams on the front. It kind of does look like a mammoth, doesn't it? Yeah, it kind of does. I see that. Some forward-facing guns, but primarily they're broadsiders. You can see they're asked to be spawned broadside. I know I got them a little high. The Thing spawn stick is kind of the same deal. It's fair. It's fine. Some rudders in the back. Pretty straightforward. Just two pontoons with a hole on top. Bunch of guns on each side, some in the back, some in the front, a little bit of insurance. I like this little cockpit here with plenty of visibility. Ahoy! And some very, very beefy looking masts. Now, I've said early in previous entries that their masts look very well armored. These are kind of actually, I guess. I don't know, depends on which way they turn. I think they're on spin blocks, but there are quite a few of them. Problem is they're covered in wood, and as we know, high explosive does not care for wood. Stone will probably be a better choice, but we'll see. There's two of them, and they're both very big, so it might be difficult to take them out. Over here we have the Thing Spawn Stick. I don't know what these are called. They're both things. I'm going to call them Thing 1 and Thing 2. I'll leave you to decide which one is which. They look like airships almost. Just this pinched, kind of angular design. I like it. A very heavy keel on the bottom, lead keel to keep it from capsizing. Those are wood beams, and as we've seen, HE high explosive shells and wooden beams get along like a wildfire on gasoline. And there's just one layer of them. So if those snap somehow, I don't think they will, but if they all snap, your entire keel is gone, Team Marks 11, and that ship will probably capsize in a heartbeat, which would be entertaining, but it's not ideal if you're trying to fight. I like this, though. They're very, very sleek. I imagine they're very low in the water, too, so maybe they're harder to hit. Again, these are both identical ships. Only two masts, a lot of sail on each mast, so maybe they're very fast. I don't know. We'll have to see. Let's stop theorizing and get into the fighting here. Get my clock ready. And 3, 2, 1, fight. Oh, wow. Mastodon getting a shot off very early. And the Thing's responding. And it looks like most of these shots are going to plow the water again. There we go. Yeah. Well, those are going to hit. Looks like they're actually aiming for the spawn stick, maybe? Nope. They're hitting right in the middle. They're both. I guess they're both going for the sponsor. Yep. Okay. Well, that doesn't matter. They both blanketed the things. Looks like the Thing's shots went for this mammoth over here. I forget that's mammoth or mastodon. That's mastodon. Mastodon's the lighter yellow. Kind of hit a few of them, but it's very, very tanky, so it should be able to take out most of that damage without too much fuss. That was a big volley right there from the forward guns. Well, not big volley, just 3 shots. But those are big shells, so maybe they'll do some damage. Yes, they did. Not a lot, but it did hit the front of the Thing. Not a lot of shells coming on either side. These Things are moving very fast. That one's definitely underway very quickly. This one seems to be struggling. They responded in a crosswind, so I don't know why. You can see the Mammoth and Mastodon. Wait. Mastodon and Mammoth are getting underway very nicely. Although, guys, that's bad. That's bad juju. Don't. Oh no. Oh, you're doing so nicely too. You're hitting these ships well, but oh no. Oh, silly Ice Age beasties. You're gonna ram each other. This is not the time for a mating dance. There's a war on. Please. And you're gonna make my computer freak out. 3, 2, oh, they're gonna hit each other. Yeah, hang on. There we go, figuring out what we're gonna do. Oh no, that's... Well, at least the rams hit each other, so that minimizes damage, but that's not good. You can't miss that target. Look at that, there's two of them tied together, basically. And the things manage to get each other going from opposite directions, so they have free reign. Not that the Mammoth and Mastodon can definitely hit this one. I don't know about this one over here. But now they're stuck, and they won't reverse. These ships, sailing ships, don't reverse. That'd be silly. Let's see what the damage really is. There goes Mammoth firing off its rear guns. There's that Mastodon firing off its rear guns. And then the side guns go out for this thing over here, which seems to be stuck for some reason. It can't get itself moving. I don't know what the deal is. Guess the way the AI has turned it. There goes all of the shells, all of them plowing the front. It hasn't hit any masts. It's very interesting. The very thin masts on the thing seem to be preventing a lot of the sail strip that seems to happen on some of these other ships. Because there are definitely high explosive shells coming from the Mammoth and Mastodon, but they don't seem to be actually hitting the sails. I know I've been neglecting this one right underneath me. Ooh! It looks like oh no, it's sailing around the backside. So now, and remember I said on the last episode, broadside ships are very good against multi-ship entries, especially when multiple ships flank them. You get one or two on each side. You can use your damage to its full potential, really, because you fire off on the one on the left and you fire off on the one on the right simultaneously, and you can do very well, because multi-ship entries have a weakness in that you hit one, especially if you despawn one, it's a huge chunk of points taken off of the entire team, which is what really counts in the end, is the collective team health. And it only takes a 55%, below 55% for a ship to despawn. So all you have to do really is is about a sixth of the team's total HP and damage to knock it down by a third, which is really, really nice. And if you're a broadside ship and you have opportunity to fire on two targets at once, you have a higher chance of doing that kind of damage. And I thought the Mammoth and Mastodon colliding would be really, really bad for them. And it will be if those two actually go side to side with each other, because they don't recognize friendly fire. In this game, AI does not recognize friendly fire, so they'll try to fire through each other, which could be actually more devastating than things could ever hope to be at this point. This thing is down to 82, 81. Oh no, that's not good. That was an ammo deposit right there. That was an ammo storage that just got hit, and it got blown backwards, and so it's lost all of its forward velocity, all of its momentum. Yeah, that went all the way back through the bow. Oh, that's a shame. Oh, that's a shame. Okay, well, it's still moving, so that's good. That's more than can be said for its sister ship over there. And now they are broadside to each other. That's not good. And they're sailing the same direction. That's doubly not good. They can't get away from each other now. And so what's going to happen is Mammoth over here is going to eventually reload. It's going to see that ship over there and fire straight through Mastodon on its starboard bow. On starboard side, I should say. Unless they can tear each other. Unless they can tear away from each other, which it just seems like they want to sail together. This could be a turn of events for the things. They're doing poorly right now. They're really getting hammered by these two ships. There goes, see? Sorry, the collision is making my computer freak out. Yeah, the two friendly ships are hitting each other. And that was a huge, and there goes an ammo detonation from the inside of Mastodon. Now down to 93. That's a chain reaction. That's not good at all. Lifting it clean out of the water. Oh, sorry, that's Mammoth. Mammoth is there goes another barrage. It's gonna keep firing through its ally, and that's gonna cut down on guns. It's gonna cut down on ammo. It's gonna cut down on armor and HP. It's not a good thing at all. and the explosion not only did damage to Mammoth, it lifted it out of the water and dropped it nose first. So now it's unfortunately it's made of wood, so it'll pop back up, but it's gonna lose some forward momentum because of that, and it's still stuck. Now, the explosion popped it forward, but it's still stuck beside of its sister ship, so it's gonna keep getting hammered. Hopefully, it can get some shots off. What's gonna happen is it's gonna get despawned at this rate. That kind of broadside straight into the ammo storage. Oh, shut up, pager. It's gonna be devastating, and if that ship gets despawned, the things have a good chance of surviving and winning this, actually, because that's half of the hit points for this team gone. As it stands right now, they can still, like, these shots aren't too bad. They aren't too bad, and Mastodon's actually firing over Mammoth now, which is better, but still not ideal, because you see, it just hit those sails, and those sails now, maybe that's for the best. Maybe that's for the best, because it will slow down the Mammoth, and maybe that'll help, because it'll get Mastodon to stop firing through it once it passes Mammoth by. But that was not a good thing. They were doing better stuck together than they are now. Oh no! And now Mammoth is going to fire into Mastodon. Fortunately, I can't believe I'm saying this is fortunate, but Mastodon did so much damage to Mammoth's left side that Mammoth isn't going to be able to do much damage back to Mastodon. But all the things have to do now is just sit back and watch these two tear each other apart, because they're sailing in formation, which is neat. It's neat. I dig. If the AI could recognize not to fire through friendlies. Unfortunately, that's way too intelligent for this game's AI. I know it's probably going to be fixed way on down the road, but right now, oh my gosh, this is absolute just carnage. It looks like these ships weren't getting enough out of kicking around the things and decided to kick each other around too. It's like siblings almost. Oh, that's really that against a more powerful entry. That could be really bad news. The bit where they were stuck together is actually pretty good, because the rams hit each other, and so they weren't doing much damage at all. So they were pretty much healthy, and they basically formed a solid wall of guns on both sides. And because they're up against another dual ship entry, and the ships decided to flank them on either side, they basically got 100% firepower on both sides, on both enemies at the same time, which was great until they start shooting each other, and now they're actually evening the odds for the things. 10 minutes left in this fight, and oh my gosh, that thing is that's a very unhappy thing right there. It has almost no guns left on it. It's got a sail. Honestly, these sails, I did not think they'd last as long as they did. They have lasted a very long time, especially since their enemies are shooting HE into them. I really did not think they would last this long. I guess by virtue of being so tall and thin, they've largely been missed. Hitting the sail itself doesn't actually do anything to it. You got to hit these little blocks that are attached to the mast. Those are what actually generate the sail piece. The sail is just a visual effect. It's actually not there. Well, it is there. It's catching the wind, but physically you can't hit it. But it looks like Mammoth is about to, or Mastodon's about to rectify that problem. Because if you hit any one of these beams right here, you'll kill this entire mast, because that top part's the only part that still functions. You knock out anything beneath it, the whole thing will fall over, and then it's gone. But they're trying to fire low, which is really... Oh, there it goes. Right, there it goes. Right at the spin block. Knocked it clean off, and now this thing is completely dead in the water. Not that it really mattered. This was actually about to despawn. Wow, we haven't seen a despawn death. Or actual ring out, and oh. Another ammo deposit gone. And that's definitely below 2 damaged. It's going to despawn. I will say this, in spite of being blown all to pieces, these things have managed not to get AI cored yet, which is very nice. It's very shows some good design, some durability there. Unfortunately, they just, like, I think their thing was speed, and they just weren't fast enough to avoid these cannons. And they didn't gang up on one side like they really should have. In fact, I don't know how they should have dealt with this. These things, they were under leveled already. They're kind of like, I think like the total for this team was 66,000 materials, and the limit is 80,000. Like Mammoth and Mastodon are right at 80,000, so they're already underpowered for this fight. And the fact that they don't have a lot of top speed, very thin and fragile. The low freeboard is really nice. I think that's actually kept them alive longer than they otherwise would have been, but it just wasn't enough. They needed more something, either more armor, more speed, or more gun. You know, they had plenty of guns. They needed more armor or more speed, and that one is despawning. So it is almost official, right? Unofficial. The Mammoth and Mastodon have won, but you know, we'll still go on. We got 7 minutes left on the clock. We're gonna see what this last one can do. Unless it turns around, not much. It's got one cannon left on this side that has managed to survive long enough. I don't know if they even have any more. I don't even know if they have any more ammo on them. I hope they do. I hope it's got some ammo. It may be out of ammo. I think the ship is out of ammo. We've seen both. Nope, it's got some left. It's just trying to get the gun to bear. It can't even. Its gun's not even on target yet. It's sailing pretty well, actually. It's just not turning. It needs to turn around if it wants to shoot. Really, it's got a whole rows of guns over here. 6 minutes remaining. Oh, and another volley from the Mammoth. Missed completely. This thing is agile enough that when it turns, it does throw off the aim of the other ships, which is pretty cool. I've not actually seen that in this tournament so far, because the ships are mostly just too big and slow to even remotely affect the other's aim. But you know, it's nice to see that. It's nice to see a fairly quick sailing ship that can actually dodge some shots and stay alive a little bit longer that way. Oh, these two are coming back around for another hug. Guys, group hugs after the fight, please. Don't play with your food. Oh no. These two are bros, I'm telling you. They love each other to death. Literally to death. Y'all don't have any, like you have... Do you have any guns on the front? I think you have like 2 or 3. Yeah, you've got 2 each. This is not effective. This is not effective cannoning. This is not how sailing warships are supposed to fight. Oh gosh. They could easily finish that last thing off if they would turn broadside right now. Oh. And that's what's going to happen. The Mammoth is going to turn broadside with its bad side, I might add. This side actually has more guns. And try to broadside, and then the Mastodon's going to broadside into its good side. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Chrysaeus, your ships have very, very suicidal, or is that homicidal? Patris, I don't know, whatever you said. They're very keen on killing each other. Like, they kill the enemy to a certain point, and then they're like, no, you know what, that's not fun enough, let's kill each other. Seriously, I had two brothers wrestling each other all the time. When they really ought to be getting on the field and playing. It's just not conducive to a healthy warship environment here. Well, they are getting shots in. That's a comfort. Will any of those be lucky enough to hit that mast? Nope. Single beam seems to be really good at evading shots, which is nice. I guess that makes sense if it's moving fast enough. And, you know, cannonballs aren't that big to begin with. And the shotgun effect at range is going to make it very hard for them to actually hit that single beam. However, if they aim at the hull, the splash damage from the HE could probably knock it off, and that's what's going to happen eventually, I think. As soon as those two finish hugging. Mammoth is going to turn Mastodon around, and vice versa. So they're actually not going to fire again. 3 minutes left on the clock for this 3-ring circus. Oh no. Guys, turn around. The enemy is behind you. They have like a few token cannons in the front and the back, so like, yeah, we can shoot forward and backwards if we want to. Like, maybe. No guarantees we'll actually hit anything. Oh, they're reversing. That's interesting. I didn't think you could make sailing ships reverse. It looks like they're actually reversing each other. Which, I mean, it's nice. It just means they'll shoot each other again. Let's see if Mammoth can actually shoot before Mastodon decides to broadside straight into her sibling there. Or his. I don't think they're brothers. I'm pretty sure they're brothers. Oh, that was the bow. That was the ammo storage in the bow. We saw that happen on the other thing. And this one has gotten hit in the front too now, and it's been cored. Oh my goodness, down to 59%. 2 minutes remaining, but doesn't really matter. There is one half of the fleet remaining, and there's one half of that half remaining, so it's basically a quarter of the fleet remaining. The Mammoth and Mastodon have just about all of their hit points still remaining. Done some damage, but most of it's to themselves, which would be more significant in a fight with some more heavily armored opponents that could weather their own damage better. But it's just about over, folks. A minute and a half remaining. Thing is at 58%. Its teammate is gone. Mammoth and Mastodon are trying to clean up without going for another bro hug of victory. It's too premature, guys. You can't do that just yet. You haven't won. Officially, you have to finish your opponent off to do that. We haven't actually seen a proper ring out in this tournament yet, by which I mean we haven't seen one where all members of an entry have been completely destroyed before the timer runs out. We need to see that happen this time. That low freeboard is keeping this thing alive way longer than you'd expect. That and the enemy's inability to get its guns on target without hugging itself. They keep wanting to turn around to face each other. That's the thing. Come on, fire again. Nope, 30 seconds remaining. I don't think it's going to happen. I think this thing is going to survive just long enough to see the end of this match, but that's going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. This match is 20 seconds from being over with a lead of 85 and 78 to 58%. The Mammoth and Mastodon are the clear winners of this tournament. I'll wait for the last 10 seconds to count down, but that is it. 3, 2, 1, and that is officially the end of this match. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you your winners of this episode. The Mammoth and Mastodon by Crozeus. Congratulations, Crozeus. You're decidedly aggressive ships have managed to pull off a win here despite of shooting each other full of holes. And my condolences, Team Marks 11. I think this is your first tournament, isn't it, man? You had some very cool looking ships. They were actually, I think, maybe the Golden Darkness fleet is a little faster, but I think your ships may actually be one of the fastest entries I've seen yet. And they kept their masts, their sails up far longer than just about any other entry in this tournament has so far. So you've definitely got some good design ethics going here, man. Keep it up. Would definitely recommend you look into some armor, because this won't do. But thank you for participating. Thank you both for participating, and as always, I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.